Hey again, everybody. All right, so where we left off was here. Let's move that there and that there. Yeah. So we were oh yeah, I wanted to see if I was streaming on Steam. Is that working? I don't think that would show me anything, but this might. No, strange. Huh. Let's see. Start. Did it work? I don't think it worked. Huh. Yeah, weird. It's not streaming to Steam anymore. And the start button didn't even do anything. Yeah, it's strange. Oh well, whatever. I'll have to figure this out some other time. Figure out why streaming to Steam isn't working. Maybe some sort of reauth is needed. Okay, so move ready and init is what we have written down. Ready should do some basic stuff. What do we need? We need this. Set walk animation speed automatically. This is done in all. Well, let's just start by moving the stuff we know for sure we're going to need, which is all the stuff that's in init. And it initializes with the town. Okay, so we're going to put this over here. Yeah, we don't need this is rare thing. This we definitely need. Oh, we also need the entity type. Entity type. Anything else? No, that's pretty much it. All right. So let's do that. So there is no init over here. In fact, what? Get component. This would have already been created. Okay, we need to call it from up here then. This is ridiculous. So we make a new instance, and we say instance.init with the town and entity type adventure. All right, so that can go away and that can go away. Code reuse, everybody. Code reuse. Okay, so there's that one. Now we need the same thing over here. Do we have an initializer for a worker? No, we don't. Put this here, say that this is a worker. Town and worker can be deleted now. And then same thing with a customer. We call base.init with this. All right, pretty good. I guess I can actually be protected. Yeah. So if we were to just check this in, it would be kind of pointless. There are some other things we need to fix too, but we can see that we removed like a couple of lines from a couple of files. But the other thing I wanted to do here is add in, I think, navigation speed, like walking speed here. And what is that, a float? Yeah, a float. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? You excited for the new year and being done with your contract? Does it actually end at the end of this year, or is it? What was that? Hang on one second. Okay, just want to make sure I didn't miss something important. Is it at the end of this year, or is it early into next year? Because I know you said it was super busy, and then it should die down. Where's the walking speed for all of these things? Nav speed. This is the default. What is the default? Base speed, default speed. We don't have an easy way of doing this, do we? Oh, I keep forgetting. Why don't we pass this in? I'll just pass it in. Float nav speed. Is that what we even call this? No. Walking speed. Nav speed component, default speed. Okay, cool. Now we need to add this in. Adventurers have the default. And there's some other issue here. Base speed. Okay, no, that's fine. And then this 2, we have a speed passed in for this. This is just going to be passed in through init. Yep, delete that. And then same thing with worker. This can just be deleted. All right. Excuse me. Okay, that's looking good. Anything else we can do here? This adventure component, that's specific to adventures, obviously. Abilities are too. Regeneration and health are. Yep, that's all fine. Cool. That is all working. Now what? Why do we do this here? Start state. This should all be done in init. Why do we do this? Oh, because it needs to be in the scene tree. Okay. I'm fine with that. Yep. Yep. Now, why do we do this? End of January will be a bit of work after, but not anywhere near as much. Also, I moved house now too. 2025 is looking nice and clear for me. Man, that was the longest house move time ever. Yeah, you're gonna be super happy, I bet. To not have so much stuff going on. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see windy streams again. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty well. I have been very excited about Skeleseller, and I was kind of overdoing it a little bit. I think there were a couple of problems. One was work hygiene a little bit, and I mean, I'm sure you can relate based on what you've said, but I think my work time was bleeding into my personal time quite a lot, and it was hard to separate the two lives, so to speak. So I took a lot of last week off. It was sort of unexpected, and I don't even feel like I was burned out. Maybe a tiny bit, but anyway, it was a good time to take a break. And now I'm just getting back into things. We've got a few tasks for, where is this? Here. For mid-January that I want to get done with. And I think they're all pretty doable. So if we can get done with all these things, then we'll have a V0.5. By the way, one of the biggest tasks on Wednesday, or a star on this, is figure out the Steam demo plans. We need to know them somewhat soon. Thanks, Wendy. Actually, there are a few changes that I think really add a lot. One is there are now shadows under the characters as they're walking. That alone already looks pretty nice. But then another thing is we finally have idle animations in battle. They're looking great. Scott, welcome back. Thanks for the resub. Yeah, it is going to be a big change. I am super happy with this. There are some other changes too. I mean, you might have seen this screen. This is like a proper map. We have a lot left to do here, though. But yeah, things are looking good. I'm just super happy every time I see these improvements. Okay, so this needs to be done in several different spots. It's done in adventurer, customer, worker, and it's done in init, ready, and ready. Now, why do we do that? Because we need the animated sprite component set up already? Yes, that's it though. Once that's done, this should be fine. So where do we do it for the customer? Stopped using Twitch for like a year. Anything happened? I guess you were last here on April 5th. Although before that it was, well, actually before that was March, I guess. April 5th, I was not already working on this game. So yeah, this should be brand new for you to see. Jump Royale is still going on, but this is a game called Skeleseller, and it is a laid-back, casual sort of town management game. You send adventurers into battle. So here we see this rogue enter the portal. They just automatically fight, and then when they win the battle, they get items which you stock into your shops, and then customers like this one can come over and buy it. And you build out your town, you train your adventurers, you spend skill points and stuff. So you got some different skills here. You can get a whole bunch of different adventurers. So we have 7 in the game right now. And then a lot of different mechanics in town. So this one, for example, this is the garbage slime. It pays you money for items. So if we give it an item right now, it's willing to pay 5 gold for this. Now 6 gold, now 7 gold. So as it gets hungrier and hungrier, it pays more money. And then if you feed it, it gives you the money and goes down in hunger. Kind of like a Kairosoft game. Yeah, it is kind of like a Kairosoft game. I think there is slightly more depth to it, maybe, but it's still largely automated. Yeah. Hey, Alter baby. How have you been? Got any plans for the holiday New Year? Thanks for the resub, first of all. And any plans? Not really, actually. It's been pretty low key, and I'm fine with that. I have plans to go on a vacation late January with my wife to celebrate Wendy's contract ending. That last part's a joke. I don't know if it's clear. It's definitely clear to Wendy. But I'm looking forward to that. And it's not quite the holiday time. But it'll still be great. How are you doing, Halter baby? Yeah, there's another new system that we've added. These are spell books. You can cast spells that'll affect your town. So here we can use this blue spell. And if I click this crystal turns blue, and now customers move faster. So if you unlock all these crystals, you can cast 3 spells at once, and I can cast the same one 3 times. And now customers are zipping around the town. So if they actually stock a shop here, this customer is going to just like dart their way right over there probably. Oh, they idled. They'll eventually buy that item. Ding. Nope. Wait. Nope. Come back. Stupid customers. There's only the 1 item for sale. Ah, there they go. They got it. Yeah, and then eventually the spells run out. Your mana recharges. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. Out of office till January 2nd. Flying out in a few hours with family. Paid for the entire trip. Wow, nice. Where are you going? Later join my friends after coming back from the trip. Nice, nice, nice. Wow, that should be a good vacation. And very generous of you to pay for your family. Okay, so customer adds this here. This adds this here, and this adds this here. Okay, where are all of these things? This is in setup sprite. I don't think there's any other way we could do this necessarily. And it's just going to be a function call either way. So I think we leave it as is. It could be an init though. Is that where this is happening? This is happening from ready. It's got to be in the scene tree first. Wait, it doesn't even get added here. Yeah, I don't think we can change this around. Okay, is there anything else in common? I don't think so. In fact, I kind of think this is maybe not worth doing. But at least now we have the shadow in one spot. Yeah. Actually, no, now that I think about it, we could get the sprite. Make the animated sprite component from here. Where do we do this? This shouldn't have even worked, right? Get node sprite. Oh no, it'll work. It's the same path. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? No, that's done in all of these. The only difference is this one has a hands sprite as well. And we put it into this component, and then what? It's public. It's only got an init. How do we do that then? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There'd have to be a hand sprite for this. And there isn't necessarily. But otherwise, this is something we could do from ready in all of these. All right, well, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to move all this anyway. I'll put this in here. Do we have any reason to save this off? Why do we do this? No, we don't. What about here? This is actually good to have learned. Nope. And why here? For setup animation frames? It's part of the animated sprite though. I don't think we need to do this anymore. We just need to make sure to call this first. Yes. Okay, cool. So base dot ready. Same thing with customer. Just trying to be very careful to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong here. This has setup sprite called from init because we need the town. But that should be fine. All right. And then, excuse me. All right, I got to be very careful about this now. So we delete all this. We delete this. Oh man, what's going on? It's like I have something stuck in my throat. Choking on reality. Just took too big a dose of reality. Let me just advertise it, all of you. Whew, sure is cold in here. Sure do want to zip up my Skeleseller hoodie. Actually, am chilly. I'll eventually get warm and take this off. It's just so good at doing its job. Sort of like the Skeleseller developers. Okay, so we don't need this anymore either. Set up animation frames. Gonna need to change a little bit too. And the last one of these is here. Okay. Now we need this stuff. This is an animated sprite. And this might not even exist. Hands sprite. Can we do get node or null? Yes, we can. All right, not too bad. And then this can just accept null? Yeah. Okay, I think we're good except for this one error down here. And we can get this from the animated sprite component. Sprite 2D sprite. It's not a sprite 2D. It's an animated sprite. Equals get component. And it's called animated sprite. It is. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Okay. I think we're good. So let's try this out. This is at least better. So this existed in 3 different classes before, this code. So we've deleted 3 copies of this, which I think makes this a little bit more worthwhile. We just need to make sure it still works. And it's just going to be important to see, do workers still have hands? And other than that, is everything moving at the right speeds? So let's take a look at the speeds thing. These two should be moving at the same speed, but customers should be slower. Hello, customers? I think they're broken. They are broken. How fun. Already had an... Oh, wait. I thought I got rid of that. Animated sprite component. No, I didn't, apparently. Okay. Well, now we need to go take this and put this over there. All right, let's try that again. Take 2, and this time I mean it. Yeah, as I mentioned, this is going to be probably only about a 2-hour stream because I found out that there are plans a little earlier in the day than I thought. Customers better pop out of here. They still aren't. Geez, there's another bug. Value cannot be null, parameter component. That is coming from here, line 147. That means that this isn't happening in the right order. Setup sprite is called from init, and init happens before adding it to the town. Oh my god, yeah. Why do we do this? Where could I buy a Skele hoodie? It's on Amazon somewhere. You have to actually just search for it. I don't have a link to it, and I don't know if it's available in all the different locales. Let me see. Yeah, if you just search for Skeleseller hoodie, it'll come up with a couple of these. And is there a way to tell that this is me? Brand Skeleseller. I don't know. I don't know how you can tell that this is actually mine. Because someone took the Botland shirt once and just put it on their own storefront. Hey, Atomic Man. I am feeling pretty good. I'm also kind of glad I'm working on some light stuff, not in Germany. Yeah, I might not have made it available there. I think I only made the t-shirts available everywhere. I don't know what it would take to make it available. Let me see really fast. Amazon merch. Click this link, click this thing, click this and this. I gotta do this off screen. Give me a sec. I'm taking a look at where I have this thing being sold. Manage products. Pullover hoodie. Oh no, I should have it in every store. Weird. This link should work for you. Right? Also, why are there only 5 colors? Hang on one second. What's going on here? It's strange. There should be more colors too. Huh. Did that link work? Works search didn't work. Weird. I don't think I even can stop it from showing up in search. Maybe they call it maybe the German search would be for pullover and not for hoodie. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. And yeah, the colors don't show up the same way as they do for me. Here's what they look like. I have access to a red one, a colors. This is blue. Yeah, I had a purple one and then a green one. Oh well, anyway, there you have it. All right, so how are we going to fix this? This is only ever called from here, and then we immediately add it. And we add it directly to the customer's node. So what we could do is stop calling create like this and just have a constructor. Why do we do this ever like this? In fact, is create worker called from anywhere else either? No. I think I did this just so that I didn't need to instantiate a scene from outside of this class. But this is a little bit weird, so I think we're going to delete this. Yeah, let's just delete the whole thing. And instead, let's move that code here. So now customer instance is created with this comma is rare. But we add it to the scene first, and now there's no problem. So I think that's what, plus 2 lines of code? Not too bad. Well, plus 2 lines in this file, but it allows all of this now to be consolidated. And yeah, as long as we see this working and we see the hands and the walk speeds and whatever else, I think we should be fine. Are they going to pop out? Yes. And are they moving slower? Yes. Okay, so hands. Do you have hands? Yes, you do. Can you pick things up with those hands? Yes, you can. Good job. Now you should not have hands. You just have items hover above you. Yeah. Which, yeah, looks a little bit weird. But as long as you end up with more workers than you have adventurers, they'll look great. I love it. All right, we run into any errors? No, just warnings. And they're just warnings about UIDs, which I've just historically ignored because they're pointless. All right, let's check that in. Yeah, the other thing we saved on is some of the scene hierarchy. Yeah, I think it's good. Good, good. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah. Good, good. Yep, all this is looking good. Okay, pretty happy with this. Should we write a comment here saying this isn't an entity as in an entity component system entity, but just something that walks around? I don't think so. I don't think it's needed. And then does scenes look fine when you open them up? Yeah, I think so. To be honest, what we could do is we could delete all of these animations. They're not used for anything. How does that work? Set walk animation speed automatically. That's not what I want. There's some like setup animation frames. Here it is. This adds animations, but if they already exist, I wonder how this works. Huh. Does it say? Adds a new animation to the library. Huh. What? How does everything look okay in the game then? It starts with these animations. And they've got characters there. Maybe it overwrites it? I don't think the actual Godot documentation will have anything extra on it. Animated sprite duty. What is going on with this preview? Look at that text. That's bizarre. What was this doing there? There's an ad. I had to remove ad block from Chrome, but I should still have the pie hole set up. How is this showing up? ethicalads.io/proxy. I wonder if I should ban that URL. Hey mods. Mods are janitors. I'll think about it later. All right, so add animation. Where is that at? I think it's actually on sprite frames. Add animation. Yeah, it doesn't tell you anything more than the comment in the code. Removes all frames from the animation. I guess that's what we should do, but it doesn't seem necessary. Let me put a breakpoint here and see what's going on. So this is called from where exactly? This is a walk entity. It is an adventure. Okay, yeah. So if we, oh, it's a new sprite frames. Oh, no wonder there's no problem. Okay, this is why debugging is good. Forces you to address your assumptions. Actually read what's in front of you. Watch me try and read without that. All right, so then, yeah, we can delete a bunch of these. And that'll free up even more in this scene. I really, really hope it doesn't mess up the worker scene. So how about we check this in before we do anything? Yeah. That way we don't break anything. Okay, so consolidate several classes. Made a walking entity base class for adventurers, workers, and customers. All right, now we can try to make this change. And this might break everything. So we go to this, we click this, and this, and this. And then we hit save, and it might have totally broken the worker. It didn't. Wow, surprising. And that's just a bunch of unused code that we didn't need. I'm going to try it, but I don't expect there to be any problem with it. Yeah, everything's looking good. Yeah, cool. All right. Delete unused animations. The walking entity. Actually, you know what I could do? I could now lump this in with the last change. Commit amend. Yeah. Now that we know that it works. All right, so that's done. Next. Mark the issues done, like adding the idle animation. Is it there? There was no issue about it? Idle animation. Which one was this now? Idle. Oh, come on. I know I have it here. Here it is. Archer, Paladin, Summoner. Add the stealth animation there too. Let me go find that. Yeah, there was a stealth animation, and I think the rogue put their hood up or something like that. But I think that is now gone. Yeah, there it is. It was this. They look a little bit darker. Not sure about that. Hold on a second. Thells, resubbing. Thanks, Thells. Welcome back. Thells, are you counting down the days till you can change your name? Thells but found a hat. Thank you. I lost my hat. Someday, though. Someday. I actually kind of like them going transparent. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Wiki Joe about that. Let me get a link to this. Give me a sec. I know I've been doing some stuff off screen. It's just easier for me, at least. Do we still want a special graphic for when the rogue uses Cloak of Shadows? You'd made this originally. Is that what this skill is called? I need to look this up. I guess we can close out of the fonts thing. Yeah. I could just look this up in the code. I just want to see if there's an S on it or not. Cloak of Shadows, yeah. Okay, done with that. Someone stole Thells, so I had to go from Thells with hat to Thells with no hat. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't realize your name changed already. I just read it as Thells with hat. Wow. Now that you've been using Godot for a bit, is there anything you think Godot could make better, fix, or add to improve the developer experience? Do you work on Godot? Because if so, I'd have a very different answer. Furthermore, was the Unity scandal the main reason for choosing Godot? No, there's a... I think I have a Y Godot command. Yeah. Yeah, I started using Godot back in 2020 when there was no Unity scandal, not at least as far as I know. Hey, Grace, it's going well. How you doing? Happy holidays. This is going to be a pretty short stream, by the way. We're going to stop in probably like an hour and a half. Yeah, so this is done except for the add the rogue stealth animation. If I don't do this, then remove the to-do item from the code and probably stop the life bar from becoming transparent. Anyway, so sound of typing, there are some issues that I have, and the biggest developer experience issue, I would say, make sure that's on. Okay, yeah, is these warnings pop up all over the place. This is about to get fixed in the next version of Godot, but it just says invalid UID because for whatever reason, the UID caches misalign across devices. So I check something in and it's got the right path but the wrong UID, and then it just complains forever about it. And you can fix it, but it's like I got to fix this for 40 files or something at this point. And everyone's having this problem with every game that they work on with a team of people, I think. There might be some like proper way to fix it. Oh, that's... I think I just broke everything. Anyway, that's just one of the issues, and that's pretty minor. You can ignore warnings. I mean, that's not a big problem. But there are some other issues too, like, I don't know, sometimes I need to reload the entire project in Godot. There are some just bugs of the engine that aren't really developer experience problems, but user experience problems. Like every time you quit the game, it crashes. And yeah, uncaught exception. That actually isn't the crash. It pops up a dialogue from the OS. I don't know why it didn't this time. Yeah, that one. Godot quit it unexpectedly. And that's because I am using like a reference to a style box or something, which works fine in GDScript, but doesn't work in C#. So I don't know. Yeah, there are some issues for sure. Doesn't see my Bluetooth headphones anymore. Yeah, Windows and audio devices just seems like it's always a hassle. Just use a proper engine like Unity or Unreal. You dropped your kappa, Wendy. Your kappa's on the floor. Gotta pick it up. Hey, Tyler. No, 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 no. Now you put your kappa on the sorry message. It's an honest sorry. It was a dishonest original message. I wonder where it's trying to do this, that it's breaking. Because it shouldn't be using this at all. Set animation speed. Oh. It's in ready. Ooh, that's not good. Do I call the init function from everywhere? I don't. What? Oh, I do. It's right here. Where's the, yeah, and there's that one too. How did I search for this and not find it? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I just did. All right, this should just be at the bottom. Oh, darn it. I don't think this can be here. Yeah, I don't think this can be here. I think everything individually needs to call this. Because this is after setting up the sprite. In fact, it's part of setting up the sprite. There. And then same thing with this. So init was called from here, but the sprite isn't actually set up yet. No, actually the sprite is set up here. Where's this called from? Ready? Yeah. I want to try Unreal at some point. Can't really talk through having used talk about having used Fusion for decades. Yeah. Roblox is the only true game engine. I haven't tried Roblox either. Nothing's as consistent as Android in terms of simply working. I think iOS is pretty consistent for people. I haven't ever owned an iPhone, but I've used iPhones before, and people do say that there aren't really like audio connection issues or something. I don't really have a problem on Android, and I don't really have a problem on Mac. And I have a Chromebook, and I think that's fine too. It's just Windows for some reason. Windows is like, hey, you have a microphone connected? Not anymore. There's got to be something I'm doing that's causing that. But it happens to my friends as well. All right, so wherever we set up the animation frames, yeah, we also do this. All right, I think that's fine. Let's see if that works now. Using a Mac, that's what's causing it? You mean like switching the microphone between computers? Because it very well is what's causing it. I just wouldn't expect that because the other computer is off usually, the Windows machine. And then I plug it in while it's, I guess not always while it's off, but still it should detect that it's the same device, right? Is this causing any errors? It still is, but only for 2 of these for some reason. Why is that happening? And where's that coming from? Get frame count facing left. Oh, did I delete the animation that was actually being used? I don't. I did. Oh my God. Is facing left as the default? Is that what I was reading? Customer has a sprite and its animation set to facing left. And worker has one. Why did I do that? I think I just hit delete 3 times and didn't care what was left. Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think we just need to set the default to facing down. Or just rename this to facing left, although it's not facing left. Oh, that's why, because facing down is the obvious one. All right, well, let's go fix it then. We'll just change left to down. And I guess the same thing with adventure. Does facing left show up here? It doesn't. Wait, why does customer even do this? It shouldn't. Walking entity should do it. This does use facing down. Huh. Yeah, it was just the 2 customers. But I don't understand. That shouldn't have been a problem at all. Curious. Curious indeed. These two things should look pretty much the same. In fact, this looks like it's added code. Yeah, I think we just delete this. There. All right, please tell me this is working. Please tell me I don't have any issues anymore. Yeah, I'm coding. Trying to be slow, cumbersome, and set up for large-scale projects. It's also not 2D friendly. Yeah, I want to give it a shot at some point, but I think it is a very large engine. I don't like UE because I really find the blueprints to be difficult to keep organized. Yeah, that's another thing I kind of want to try if I do try it out, is see what the blueprint experience is like. Had to buy a few USB hubs. Yeah, I have a hub. I guess I'm not using it for the microphone. What language am I coding in? I'm using C#. Yeah. Hey, Lon. Welcome back. Okay, so it looks like everything's fine. Yeah, everything is fine. So I changed some kind of minor things here. Yeah, we're going to consider all this to be part of the last commit as well. Good. All right, on to the next thing. Mark issues unlike the idle animation. I think that was it. Now delete bonepile.png. Let's go take a look at that. Am I using any engine? Yeah, I'm using Godot. Contract I'm working on is UE and entirely blueprints, minus a few small C++ optimizations. Yeah, it sounds cool to be able to make a game like that and still have it run well. I don't know if it would be more ergonomic or less ergonomic, but I'm very intrigued by it. Because I was watching, God, I can't remember the person's name. First Crimson, I think. He's here every once in a while. And I think that's his name. Anyway, he's making a game and he's mostly using blueprints. And it looked like you get to exercise exactly the paths that the engine wanted you to exercise. Didn't like how opinionated it was. Having built-in spawn points and stuff like that bothered me. Yeah, it even has a stats system. That sounded pretty cool to me. Anyway, I do want to look into it at some point. A while ago, I applied for one of their, I don't know what they call it, like their mega grants or something. It was a grant. And they offered some amount of money for me to just like spend 40 hours learning Unreal. And it was right at the time I was about to go work for Google, so I turned it down. But I will probably reach out to them again at some point and ask if I could still do that. Is it available for playtest? It is, but I would say to wait. So right now, if you were to go to this page, why is this not working? There it goes. Okay, if you were to go to this page, you could click download on it and you could play it. But this was 3 weeks ago, and the last 3 weeks have been like leaps and bounds of progress. So I don't recommend playing this until I launch the next demo, which will be in January. So if you're okay waiting about a month, that'd be like drastically better experience for you and much more valuable feedback from me. I can't do any of the languages with C in the name. So that rules out JavaScript. That rules out TypeScript. I know what you mean, but I'm still gonna be pedantic about this. Hey, JuiceBot, new here. Curious where you work professionally. Game looks cool, by the way. Thanks. I've got a little bit about this here, but I don't share everything. So if it's not here, I probably am explicitly not trying to share it. Genuinely saying, what's your typing speed? There you go. Just like JS and nerd on TS. But what about the bread language? Crust. Sometimes my jokes are so stupid that I can't help but laugh at them myself. All right. Specialist 4-button key. I don't even need the 4 buttons. Just give me like a fader and a knob. I'll look like a DJ spinning beats and words. Never heard of no crust. It was a joke on Rust, but it doesn't have a C in it, so it didn't work. So I need to add a C. Okay, that's something I didn't expect. But this is something I did expect, and we're going to commit, and then we're finally moving on from this. And we're going to go search for Bone Pile. Thrill House. So nothing should ever use this now. Yeah, there is no not should appear on, or should disappear on death. I think we just got this. I said Craveling, that's true. Hindsight is 2020. What does Skeleseller mean? So the storyline of the game, and this is kind of silly, but your dream was to be an adventurer, and you're out fighting, and you're in the forest somewhere, and you get in a fight with a snake, and they poison you, and your life is ticking down, and you just go to a nearby town, and you're like, I'll get an antidote, right? But they don't have an antidote, and you die. So you come back as a skeleton, and now your goal is to sell your own potions and stuff. So you become a skeleton who is selling things, hence Skeleseller. So yeah, this is you right there, walking around. Did you know C# before jumping into Godot or pick it up along with Godot? Yeah, I knew it already. I worked at Microsoft a while ago, and I learned it back when I was at Microsoft. Although I would say I used Java even before that, and it's pretty much Java. There's like hardly a difference. Yeah, capitalizing on tragedy. I mean, that's really the core theme of the game. Windy's kind of spoiling it for everybody. But if you ignore his insensitivity, he is correct. You don't sell skeletons. Who would want to buy a skeleton? A dog? All right, so bone pile is gone. Our temp graphics folder is down to just 2 things. And actually, technically, this is not temporary anymore. So we should just move it away from temp. Do we have a thing about that? No, I'm going to file an issue really fast. Move zap.png out of the temp folder. I like it too much for it to be temporary. All right. This is a code quality thing. This change is dead simple, by the way. You think I would just do it now, but I'm not doing it. Oh, let's also put this in the right milestone. The whenever milestone. Anything more than 8 commands is way too much for any language. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The video of the typing test is literally 9 years back, and you do one right now. It's kind of a joke. I don't really actually share my typing speed arc. But I mean, you could just measure it yourself. You could just watch the stream for a minute if I'm ever actually typing for that long, and then count how many words I typed. All right, the only other places this shows up is in here, where I think it can just be deleted outright. Battler.tstm. Let's go load that up. Bone pile. Oh, not bone pile. What am I talking about? It's battler. Never typing for long enough to know. That's true. That is true. So what do we have in here? We have a shadow. We have a sprite that doesn't exist. And then we have a life bar. That's fine, but I kind of want to put a sprite in here just as a placeholder. It's a straight secret. Dog biting on a skull. Why did it it made your first @ symbol bold? Oh, I guess because it thinks the underscore is a username. Interesting. Huh. How long did it take you to be comfortable with coding? It's really hard to say because I started so long ago, Flip. I I think comfortable took a while because I was learning at a pretty young age, but like actually seeing yourself make programs and get some feedback on that does not take a while. And especially nowadays, it doesn't take a while. So if you're brand new to coding, you've never written a single line of code, and you were to go download something like Python, you'll technically write your first program within 1 minute because they'll have you print hello world or something. But then after that, you'll be writing some like really basic stuff within the first hour probably. So it's not too bad, and it's nice to help train you into thinking like a computer thinks. But yeah, to make something like, business to business application sort of thing, or a back end for something, or a full application, that's going to take longer. And feeling comfortable with that is very different from just I know how to code. It's more, do you know how to write maintainable code? Do you know design patterns? Can you work with other people? Can you drop into your code after a year? Those sorts of things. Think I lost focus after a while. Annoying because it's such a useful skill. I think that my best advice, and I always say this, is whenever you're starting out with something, make sure that you're actually learning and make sure you're having fun. Because if you're not having fun, you're not going to be motivated. And that's true if you're learning an instrument, if you're learning coding, if you're learning whatever it is, tennis. Like, if it's just learning, it's going to feel like it's just learning. It's going to feel like school or like you're studying. And for some people, that might be fun, in which case you've already accomplished both goals. But otherwise, it's not going to feel fun. And you're going to feel like this is tedious and you won't want to do it again. And then if that's hard, I would say to try to make it easier for yourself somehow. And for different people, it means different things. So it could just mean having a good environment for coding. So like, is it quiet around you? And do you have a laptop that you like or that you've already set up or something? Maybe you want to get lessons for it. Maybe you want to enroll in a class. Maybe you want to look at a YouTube tutorial. All of those things are ways you can make it easier for yourself. All right, so now the last thing we need to do is change this to not have the bone pile sprite at all. That's strange. The shadow has to exist. Should be the null forgiving operator. All right, so that doesn't exist, and now that this shouldn't exist, if it shouldn't disappear on death, we do this at the end of the battle, but I don't want to keep this there. Yeah, and good luck, Flip Flip. The other thing too is, I guess have some basic goals in mind. And I have a whole blog post. I'm kind of just regurgitating it right now. I didn't mean to type learns. I wrote this a long time ago. It was in 2020, but I still stand by pretty much all of this stuff, which is like, why are you learning? What do you want to learn? Which language do you pick? All that stuff is there. Started learning C# a while back and got some way in and had to learn Blender and all the C# fell out. It was like a plunger going into your ear, just pushing all the stuff out the other end. For what it's worth, I mean, you mentioned using Unreal on the contract. I think blueprint-based game development is very viable. Yeah, once you know one, it's easier to pick up the others. Definitely is. Yeah. Repeat the word revealed twice. Whoa, that probably has been there forever. Neat. I want to write that down. Good catch. Good catch indeed. Visual stuff I'm better with? I am horrible at it. I am so bad. The way I look at it is someday in the distant future, I'd like to learn how to draw. I'd like to learn the basics of visual art. But any time I would have spent on that right now, I'd rather spend on music stuff because I think I have more of a foundation for the music stuff, and I think I have more fun with the music stuff. How long have I been streaming for? I started on September 6th, 2015, I think. There's a site called Sully Gnome. If I could type my own name. And I think it might tell you. Yeah, okay, here's the first bit of data. September 2015. Does it have the actual date here? Because I think it was the 6th. What? What am I doing? No, it was the 8th. That's very important. I'm sure you were curious about the exact day. You only have so many skill points for the skill tree. Possibly good at all the things, I think. Sometimes better to lean into what you're good at and enjoy most. Yeah, I think so. But I also think, what's his name? Scott Adams? It's Scott Adams, the guy who made Dilbert. He said something like, every skill you learn doubles your chance at success. I really like that quote. Because you never know how knowledge relates to other knowledge that you already have. So maybe you never end up drawing for the rest of your life, but knowing how to draw helps you in, like I said, some unknown way. Or maybe it lets you at least relate with other people or get back into it more easily later in life. So I think it is good to know that stuff. I also think that refreshing your memory on something is much easier than starting from scratch. So if you do pick up something like C# for 6 months and then stop and then learn Blender and it all gets pushed out of your head, then when you finally do go back to C#, it'll at least be easier. You'll be like, oh yeah, I remember some of this stuff. And it'll feel less daunting that way too. This all looks like it's working fine, but we haven't actually tested a battle, so let's test a battle. God, those idle animations. Just love that they're in the game now. Actually, I haven't even looked at all of them. I should do that. I really like the mages. Looks pretty cool. What about the warrior? Nice. All right, who else have we not seen it for? I've looked at the cleric one. So witch doctor, paladin, and archer. Let's look at all three of those in the same battle. We'll just send them here. Neat. It's so cool. Yeah, I love it. So cool. Gone away from Blender multiple times. Rejoining is always so hard because it's so hotkey reliant. So for that sort of thing, I always think it's a good idea to have like a quick reference guide that you make for yourself. So I did this for Fruity Loop Studio, for example. And I mean, I use it frequently enough where I don't end up looking at this, but I wrote keyboard shortcuts and I separated it into a super useful one. So when I just come back to the program after like a year or two, then I'm like, oh man, these are the ones I need to know. And then helpful, and then not very helpful, which probably just shouldn't even be notes about it. But yeah, if you do something like this for Blender, just like a capture your current state of how you do things. And I always think about this in terms of, let's say the human race were to just die out. Aliens come to our planet and they're like, oh, how do we reconstruct what they did? It's like no one's going to be there to tell them, and they'll have to piece it together from all the media or whatever hard drives they find. But it's kind of like that in your day-to-day life too. If you just stop using a skill for like a year and then you come back to it, you might wonder, what is it I used to do for this? I know I had a trick. I don't remember the trick. Like I was doing interviews on stream for a while, and I just haven't done one in a while. The last one was September 20th. And after a couple months, I was like, oh man, I might forget how I do this. So I wrote down some notes on like, here's how I would prepare. Here's what I would do the day of. And I think the next time I do an interview, that's going to come in handy. All right, this is done. Remove bone pile. Adventurers now have their own death animations and then disappear. So we don't need these. They're not actually disappearing from a battle yet, though. We got to fix that. So bad at those secondary, less important things. Remember to commit, taking notes, actually finishing. Actually finishing. Yeah, I think it's really important, especially for something like Blender, where it's a very expensive program to begin with, but then also there's the whole hotkey layer of doing things. Like you probably can do everything without having to use hotkeys, right? But is it nice? Is it ergonomic? So should bosses have a shadow? And I think unless they are a piece of glass, the answer is yes. So instead of hiding the shadow, is this the only place where the shadow shows up? Oh, we don't even get this inside of here. All right, let's do that. Let's also, what is this, a sprite 2D? Let's also go put this as unique. Huh, sprite is also not unique. Let's make that unique. Blender's awful without hotkeys. Yeah, I think even Pre-Loop Studio is pretty awful without hotkeys. And there's some for everything. It's kind of funny because every modifier key does something different. So like if I just scroll right now, it scrolls. That's what you would expect. If I shift scroll, it scrolls horizontally. Again, that's what you'd expect. If I command scroll, it zooms in horizontally. Alt scroll is zoom in vertically. Control scroll doesn't seem to do anything different. And then there are probably like combinations of those modifiers that do different things. So all of those have their reasons for using them. And if you know what they are, then yeah, you can be pretty fast. I think saving timestamped video links is good as a reference, but I think also transcribing whatever you learned to text is important because the videos might not exist anymore, or they might have ads before them, or you might not have an internet connection. So I think it's good for like, hey, for more information, take a look at this. Okay, so moving this thing down, we now don't need to do this anymore. This just hid the shadow. I think we need to bump this down by, how do we do this? Yeah, I didn't think we could do that. New vector to I could just say vector2 dot down times a tile size, maybe. This is going to be a tiny shadow, though. It probably needs to be made larger. So, but let's just try this anyway. Man, something that bugs me about YouTube is they can take videos offline at any time. That part's fine. But if you had a playlist of like work music playlist or something, and it's got 8 tracks in it or 8 videos, and then 3 of them go offline, you don't even know what they were to be able to find them again. It's like, I like that music. I don't mind paying for it. I just, what is it? What was the thing I was listening to back then? All right, so we got to go fight any boss, and we're just looking at its shadow. If it sees its shadow, then it's got 6 more weeks of winter ahead of it. And I do not see a shadow there. What did I do wrong? Shadow position plus equal down times tile size. Down is 1? Yeah. What? Tile size is 16 though. Oh, that's what's wrong. It's got to be the frame height. Do we say that anywhere? We should. Battler height in pixels, yeah. I think it's 4 pixels too high. So this will move it 4 pixels lower. This is so weird. That divided by 2 is there, but it's just there in AI fantasy land. But it looks like it's actually typed there. It just isn't. Yeah, I can't select it. But it's weird because it's between the semicolon and the rest of the text. Okay. This is working now? Still no? I guess this one is there, so we'd move it down by 20 pixels. They're double the size, right? Why am I not seeing it? It's not hidden by default. Well, the other thing we need to do is make this bigger. So I guess just scale it. Let's try that. Is that my art? No, no, no. My art is terrible. If you want to see my art, here's my art. This is Quickie Joe's art. Nobody wants to see my art. Not even me. All right. I'm baffled. Yeah, I'm baffled. Strange. We're bumping this down by 20, and then we're increasing its size. And it doesn't look good. The life bar looked good though, right? Yeah. This code is being hit. I don't know what this position should be then. That'll make it look good. I'll put a breakpoint here. This isn't going to tell me anything really, other than what the exact position is. So it's originally at 0.2, and it should be at 0.22 when this is done. Yeah, it is. For whatever reason, that's not good enough. All right, let's try changing it, I guess. Shadow dot position equals new vector 2, 0.42. Through an exception of the shadow's disposed? No. I can't make a new vector. I guess because I'm doing it in a debugger. Can we just do times equal 2? Again, I think this worked, but it prints out just total garbage here. It thinks this is 0. I don't actually think it's 0. I've seen this happen before. Oh, hey, that actually worked. Wait, what? How did that work? It's got to be it's got to be farther down still than what I thought. I don't understand why that's the case. This needs to be this times 2. Frame height. What is that? I guess we already have that there. Yeah, I don't know. Global versus local. No, it's a local position, and it's in this scene, the same as the sprite. How tall is this? It's 40 pixels. The regular battlers are 20 pixels tall and is positioned at. Wait. Okay, that is unnecessary. I was going to say the shadow is actually a large sprite. Oh, now I understand why. Okay. It's because it's a large sprite and we're positioning its center. So when we multiply the size by 2, it's still centered. No, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know why this looks right, but I think it is right. I don't care about the breakpoint. I just want to take a picture of the shadow. No, what? I'm lost. I'm absolutely lost. It was only when I manually changed his position here. All right, let's put another breakpoint. Let's figure out what's going wrong here. Paladin is taking their sweet time getting to the battle. So frame height is 40. Vector 2 dot down. We're positioning this at 42. And then we're scaling it up. What? What did that just say? I could have sworn that said 0, 2. No, it said 2, 2. I'm so confused. I just don't get it. I'm going to do times equal 1. Honestly, that should have no impact whatsoever. Okay, so the shadow is showing up there. Am I going crazy? Maybe this is actually a problem with it never showing up correctly the first time, but showing up correctly every time after that. Let's see if that's the case. Now it's not showing up, and I didn't multiply it by 1. What? I'm so confused. Yeah, why would this fix it? Times equal 1. I do not know. I am just completely confused here. All right, so shadow position. Yeah, and then I'm going to do shadow position times equal 1, and I'm going to print it out again. This can't be different. It just can't be. Oh, let's get rid of the breakpoint. It's vector multiplication, right? It should just be multiplying the individual components, right? Can we put a... Can't navigate. Yeah, you can, yeah. Yeah, it just multiplies each one. So the multiplicative identity will not change this. So something else is going on here, and I just don't know what. Huh. Okay, I think I know what's happening, at least. I think we just don't change the scale of this at all, or the position of this at all. I think I know what was going on, and this is super weird. For whatever reason, multiplying by 1 from the debugger set it to 0. So now I think that I know that. I think this will work. And I understand why even this will work, but it wasn't until I had to address that assumption that I finally figured it out. So I'll explain this in a second, assuming this works. Oh, very silly of me, though. Should have realized that sooner. Yeah, there's the shadow. Does that look good? Are people convinced that's what an ogre shadow would look like? Because I think that looks good. It's maybe a touch big, but it's visible. So let's try the other boss, which is the dragon. And let's make sure that one looks good. Gotta wait for the archer to make it to the portal. Yeah, that looks great. So cool. Should be able to use a fireball too, right? Yeah. Yeah. Burn. Okay, so here's what happened. We had this shadow already positioned such that if you were to multiply it by 2, its scale by 2, that it would already be positioned at the new correct position. So that's how that worked. That's why I didn't need to do anything. Need to be slightly rounder in order to fit the overall game perspective. I will pass that feedback on. Pass this feedback on. There. Okay, so this is done. Let's check that in. That looks good. That's not needed. This isn't needed. Delete, 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 delete. Okay, so show shadows for bosses. I just had to scale it up by 2x. All right, what are we doing on time here? I've got about 50-ish minutes, 40 minutes maybe. So let's see what we can get rid of here. So delete get character battle frame. Consolidate setup animation frame so that adventurers and enemies mostly use the same code. The 80 pixel line check should be moved to a boolean as boss. Yeah, that last one's the easiest to do. So let's do that first. Bool is, what am I doing? Is boss, is elite. Yeah. That's just slightly clearer, just giving a label as boolean. And if we're going to do this, we might as well lump it into the last change I just did. There. All right, next up. Delete this thing, consolidate these two things. Yeah, so this doesn't need to exist anymore. Nothing calls this. And what did this do? Battle frame row. This was only ever used here. Yep. Well, goodbye. And goodbye. So that's an unused function. We now don't need this. So that's just a bunch of dead code we got rid of. Yep. Move unused code. We got rid of get character battle frame. By the way, something very minor that is too nerdy for anybody to care about. But if you hold Control C, or sorry, you hold Control and you press C, and then you click something, and then you press B to try to paste, it'll interpret the click as Control click. This keyboard has what is essentially that same workflow, but it's not actually the Control key I'm holding down, it's a different layer. So I can hold my nav layer and then C and then click and then press B, and it will copy and paste, and this nav thing doesn't affect the mouse at all. I've just been using a Windows machine again with a different keyboard, and it's driving me bonkers when I'm trying to copy paste stuff because I don't realize now that it's this magical keyboard doing magical things. It's actually a very basic keyboard set up to do what I'm talking about. All right, consolidate these things. Let's go take a look. So, this isn't even it. It's in battler. So what do we actually need from here? We just need a sprite sheet, right? And then everything else should work fine. Yes. And here we get the sprite sheet from a different location. So let's do this. Texture 2D sprite sheet. And now delete this thing. And then down here, we have it set up as well. And, oh, you know what we could do? We could just get the path because that's all we need. How do we do this? Oh, we need to get character index as well. All right. All right. Okay, let's back up a little bit. let's do it this way. String sprite sheet path. Or like sprite sheet, yeah, whatever. No, you know what? We're gonna do it this way. Actually, you know what? We could set this up inside here for adventurers too if we wanted to. Because then the sprite sheet's just going to be here. Yeah, let's do that. That'd be nicer than setting a variable essentially to itself. So if it doesn't have corresponds to adventure component, then added disappears when died. So if it has one, we want to add this sprite sheet path. And if it doesn't have one, then do what we were doing originally. Okay. Next up, we delete this. And we need to set where we're loading from. So here it is based on the character index. Here it is presumably not doing that. The region does not ever need to specify its X and Y. No, it does. X0, X frame height. So we need to do ×2 times the index. So character index. Yeah, so that's all we need. Character index. Int index in sprite sheet. Hey Ski, how you doing? Row index in sprite sheet is going to be 0. And then if it's an adventurer, so this we just do here, we don't throw. If that's not null, then delete all this stuff. I'm doing well. Today's been a good day. I've been doing pretty light work. It's not the most important stuff. The important thing for me is just getting back into working, feeling like I'm getting some progress. We also closed out the final mentoring series. So I did 26 sessions across the 3 series. Just crazy to me. That's like 1 session every other week, which I think is more than I want to do next year. I still want to do mentoring next year, but just not 26 sessions, I think. Actually, it was more than 26 because I did one with Casey as well. Yeah. Hey, Spherophoria. How's it going? Thank you very much for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Staying warm, eating good food. And welcome everybody. I have been working on Skeleseller. So that's the content you're pretty much always going to see when Spherophoria raids. So if you've been here before, you've probably seen this already. But we've been working on a few different things, and also just the general look of the game is improving. We've got shadows for characters. We've got idle animations in battle now. We've got this map thing going on. So yeah, there's a lot more stuff happening here. How's it going? Hey Elder, hey Spherophoria, and hey Puppet. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Feels way more professional looking today. It's the shadows. It's the battle animations. There's something else. Oh yeah, there's the little spinning gold icon up there. We also now have a custom skull in our font. It looks kind of like the Skeleseller skull. So now we can show that this is a boss location, whereas this one is not. Yeah, a lot of little changes like that I'm pretty happy about. Oh, and some of the characters look different. This is the new mage design. They used to have a very pointy hat. And now I think they look good. I think they look a little bit different. It almost looks like they're wearing a cool hoodie and not a mage hat. But I think it's fine. Where's the rogue? Because the rogue is wearing a hood, a cloaked hood. And that looks a little less like magical, I think. Anyway. Maybe it is the Skeleseller hoodie. Actually, that'd be pretty cool, right? Get merch that's based on what characters in the game wear. Have people done that before? They probably... I guess if it's normal human clothes, it might not really look all that special. Like the first thing that popped in my mind is Sans from Undertale. I think he's got a hoodie on, right? Yeah, he does. And I was going to say, I guess you could buy the hoodie, but it's just a blue hoodie. It's not really anything special. So no one would know that you got the merch. I don't know if there are Undertale hoodies for sale. I would guess so. All right, so what we're doing here is we're just consolidating this code for now. Hard to dropship something that isn't shaped like typical human clothes. Well, yeah, I wasn't talking about like a mage robe, although that would be kind of cool, but that'd be more like Dungeons and Dragons territory or LARPing or something, and not, hey, I'm gonna wear this to a restaurant. I don't even think I'd wear this to a restaurant at this point. People would just be hounding me. Oh, you're the Skeleseller guy. Can we buy your dinner? I can't have that. Can't have too much fame, you know. By the way, to this day, no one has ever recognized. I've been streaming for almost 10 years. No one has ever seen me outside and been like, "Hey, you stream, right?" The closest I came to that was I was running in a park one day, and after I got home, someone sent me a Discord message saying, "Hey, were you wearing a red shirt at the park? I saw you, but I didn't want to interrupt your run." That was the closest I came. Just so I have one of those keyboards. Yeah, this is a corn keyboard. I love it. Hard life being this famous, I know. Sphere 4 can't even walk outside of his own house. It's just constantly barraged. People trying to get autographs at a billiards ball animation thing to the top of the street. Crowds outside, yeah, throwing just bundles of money. I mean, when you get that many $100 bills together, they hurt. They hurt. All right, so this index is going to be this. And it's got to be times 2 times that. Yeah, so... My God, why does it keep typing this out when I press tab? Row index in spreadsheet. Can you imagine if that's how people heckled you by throwing money at you? And not like, not the hurdy money, like pennies and nickels. Like, take this $100 bill, scum. People would be like, I welcome bullying. Okay, so now this is the only thing we need to do. We need to get this to be frame height times the character index. 0 and 1. Woo, just Cavino. Thanks for the raid. I don't think I recognize the name. What do you stream? Presumably Godot stuff. Possibly I've raided you before and I don't recognize the name. Am I following you? No, I haven't raided you before then. Yeah, welcome to everybody. What are you working on? Reverse Mr. Beast, yeah. I'll show you what I'm working on in just a sec. I just need to finish this up. So this is going to be this, and this is going to be frame height plus this. Doesn't make sense. No, this will be frame height. Yeah, times this, and this is going to be frame height plus 1 times that. This is the death texture. Okay, now we can delete a whole bunch of stuff, I'm pretty sure. Like all of this. Adventurer data. We need that. That's the only thing. Yeah, this stuff. Okay, so delete this, this, and this. Okay, now I think we can show off the game. Let's try running it. Not making this awkward at all. Oh yeah, no, I know. The problem is I try to raid a new person almost every day that I stream. That's not always true. But as a result, I just can't remember all the names because a lot of times those people don't drop into my stream for whatever weeks or months or something. And then they're like, oh, hey, thanks for the raid that one day. And I'm like, I do not remember this. So I followed everybody that I raid and I found out that I'm not following just Govino. So I'll have to check out the stream for sure. Working in Godot on our first game, #1 free 3D mobile game with complex mechanics developed in Godot in 2025. That's the achievement we're going for. Nice. Do you know what the mechanics are or what the style of game is? This is the game I'm working on. It's called Skeleseller. And oh, Freedom Forge Studios. Okay. I would have to look at the icon of the channel because I think I recognize the name. Anyway, I will definitely check out your stream here. Yeah, so this is Skeleseller. The story of the game is not in the game yet, but imagine that next time you start on the title screen, you click new game, it would show you a cutscene. You were an adventurer, you died, you became a skeleton. I'm cutting through a lot of details. The gameplay, though, is very casual. You are hiring adventurers. So there's my rogue. and I'm going to send them into battle. So they will walk to this portal on their own. A lot of this is pretty automated. They'll get in fights on their own here. So this is fighting a bat. And when you win, you will get loot from that battle. So here we have a potion that the adventurer is going to bring to my shop. And these are 2 customers walking around. And when they see the potion, they might go buy it. And I've got some more money now. So with my gold, I can spend it on getting shop upgrades. Like I can get another shop display here. I could actually just build more things in my town. I could build an armor shop, let's say. That looked a little weird, didn't it? I think it might have. I can get other things like a tavern, a town hall, other shops, other cool stuff. Or I could hire new adventurers and I can level up my existing ones. And this is where your input into battles comes in. So you can choose where to put your skill points. And like I said, this is a very casual game. So if at any point you're like, I don't like this build, you can just remove points and put them in where you want them to be. So yeah, you can just right click these things. And then you'll customize your parties, go to different locations and stuff. So here, let's go to this area and you can pick which party you want. And there are synergies between these. It's not like super in your face, but maybe your warrior is tanking damage and your cleric is healing them. I haven't put any skill points in, so let me do that first. Let's just click a bunch of random stuff here. I'm not going to actually come up with a build for this. I'm just trying to show off how this would work. Yeah, there. All right, now let's put them into a battle. Warrior and cleric. And let's see how they do. So again, they walk to the portal. They're both in the battle. So the warrior has a taunt ability, which makes all the enemies attack it for some time. And then the cleric has some heals and a haste ability. So yeah, I won. I got different items this time. So now I have armors. I can go sell in my armor shop, and potions I can sell in the potion shop. And that's a general game. ARPG type thing, just a simple joystick type thing, kind of like Vampire Survivors-ish. Ah, I see. I think the Survivor genre is very interesting. And I think when you play too many games in a genre, you start to notice the similarities and what certain games do well, and you want to combine all the best things from your favorite games. Like any roguelike game, for example, I find that there's sort of 2 general ways of playing. One is like try to force a build, and the other is go with the flow. So, imagine you get an item that says like, I don't know, plus lightning damage. What some people do is they just sort of ignore it and they're like, I want a fire build. I'm gonna ditch this later. I'm gonna just go with all the fire synergy stuff. And other people are like, I guess I'm a lightning build for this run. So with the Survivors games, I feel like there are enough of them now where it's sort of hard for me to get into new ones. I tried a game a little while ago called, I know you're not necessarily making a Survivors game, but I tried Hive Jumper Survivors. Is this it? Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, this game. And it was good. It was like the grind was a little bit too long for me, and I just kind of gave up. And I feel bad looking at this sort of thing. Like 80 reviews probably means they sold about 3,000 copies is my guess, because usually you multiply by about 40. And yeah, like this person said, solid core gameplay, slow start with a grindy metagame. It's kind of how I felt. I played a couple times and then just kind of dropped it. And I feel bad. Anyway, I know you're saying it's going to be a free mobile game, so unless it's supported by ads or microtransactions or something, then you're probably not looking to make money off of this. But yeah, I wish you luck. It's cool to get in the game tab. It's like adventuring, but capitalism. Yeah. I like how this game is turning out. Every time I'm about to release a new version, I have to balance test and play test it. And I do have fun doing it. Like I start a new game and I play like a regular player would. So you start your first battle and you're fighting one bat and you get like 1 to 3 potions when you win. And you have just one shop slot and just a couple of customers. And it's cool building it up and seeing how this thing grows and trying out different strategies. There's not a ton of depth to the strategies. There's only 7 abilities per class. And eventually there'll be more classes, but still it's not like a Path of Exile type of skill tree. Hey Raimu, thank you very much. How long have I been working on this? I've been working on this with a team of people since April of this year. And very soon I will say April of last year. They're too many too fast, next to impossible to compete now unless it's super, super high quality. Yeah, I just started playing. I've been mentioning this. Oh, can we have a link? Yeah, sure. So I want to share this with one caveat. You can download this right now. It's free. I don't suggest downloading this right now. There will still be another free version mid-January that will have all these improvements you see now. So if you look at, there's nothing super obvious to show this, I guess. Yeah, there's nothing super obvious to show this. It's going to look similar enough to the game that you're seeing right now, but I've already changed a bunch of stuff and we've improved quite a lot. So if you can wait and you don't mind, please come back like mid-January and to this link and consider downloading it then. Other two caveats, eventually this will be a paid game. So right now it's free because it's consider it like early access. And two is please, please, please provide feedback if you do play this in January. I'll be saying that again by then. But yeah, if you want to wish listen on Steam, there's the link. I just checked today. I think we're at 350 something wish lists. And I don't know what a healthy number is, but the higher the better. So if you don't mind clicking this button, helps out a lot. All right, so assuming this looked fine, and it seemed to, right? We tried the warrior and the cleric. The rogue looks fine. Let's throw a whole bunch of adventurers into whatever, the final battle. How many can we fit? 3. Doesn't this take... Don't, something takes 4. Yeah, this one. Okay, let's try with all the ones we haven't tried. So archer, mage, witch doctor. As long as these all look like their characters, then we're fine. Paladin, archer, mage, witch doctor. Just waiting for them to make it to the portal. There we go. Paladin, archer, mage, witch doctor. Yeah. And what happens when they die? I don't think they will die. No, I gotta see what happens when they die. So I gotta go to a battle I'm gonna lose. Let's go to this with the mage, archer, and paladin. That should do it. Yeah, I should die in this one. I just want to make sure their death animations play properly. Because if it works for one of them, it should work for all of them. There's no way they're winning this fight. So we're going to see them die soon enough. It's just a matter of waiting. Yeah, I think the archer's going to be the first to go. Yep, cool. A little hard to see behind the text. Okay, so we can check that in. How much time do I have left? I have about half an hour I can still stream for. What is this stuff doing here? Oh yeah, fade out stuff. Yep, looks good. Yeah, nice. I'm glad this is consolidated now. Okay, so refactor duplicated code. I don't even think I need anything else there. Van Goy, what's that? All right, what I wanted to do is this stuff. Adventurers play out the death animation, but then stay on the battlefield. And at the end of the battle, we stop removing adventurers. All right, so how would we do this? Because right now they disappear. I need to separate that they disappear and the update rendered texture thing. I don't even think this is needed anymore. Yeah, where is this called? From ready, we set it to true, and from death, we set it to false. We don't need to do that. Yeah, update render texture. Okay, so this is all gone. Now this should disappear on death thing. We're never calling this anywhere, as far as I know. Yeah. We aren't. Which means disappears when dead component isn't even needed anymore. Oh, wait. That's not true. What am I talking about? This is definitely needed. So if it has a death animation, play it out. Yeah. Okay, got it. So we're always going to play this out. And then if they should disappear on death, then we fade them out at the end of that. If they shouldn't, if they don't have a death animation, then they should fade out immediately. There. I think that's the logic I want, and I think that should do everything. Is that a custom Skeleseller sweater? No way. Yeah, I have a t-shirt and a hoodie. Someone wanted to get into Godot, where would you point them, given C# and some Unity experience? Straight to the docs? Yeah, straight to the docs, actually, regardless of whether they already had experience. But I think the doc I always highlight... Hang on one sec. The game took the focus. Okay. The doc I always highlight as the one you definitely should read is this one, Nodes and Scenes. This... Oops. I copied the whole thing. Sorry. This tells you what just the scene hierarchy is like in Godot, and it's not a very long doc, and it's pretty understandable. And the short story of it is everything you can see in your game should probably be a scene. So for example, this portal is a distinct entity, it should be a scene. The whole town background should probably be a scene. Like this UI up here should be a scene, this customer should be a scene. Even this UI should be a scene. It's like definitely understand that, because otherwise you're going to want to cram a whole bunch of stuff into one mega scene. And the whole point of Godot is like make just small scenes that accomplish only what that thing should do. And then, yeah, get started. And I think it's pretty nice getting started with game dev, because nowadays internet is fast enough that you can download it in like 3 seconds, right? And then you just load it up and you're looking at pretty much the same thing you're seeing me look at, just without a game being present. So it'll look something like this. And from there, the default project comes with this icon.svg, and you could drag this in and use it like it's a sprite. So you can do this, you can click attach script, and you can start writing code for your sprite and move it to the right or move it up and down when you press the arrow keys. I believe Godot has its own language, but maybe it's compatible with C# since you're using it. It does have its own language called GDScript, which is very much like Python. They also support C# as sort of a first-class citizen, but then you can also use GD extensions and encode it in any language you want, really. I wasn't super happy with GDScript last time I tried it. And that's not to say it's bad, but I didn't like it very much. And that was back in March, April. It's gotten better even since then. Okay, so when an adventurer dies, we need them to play the death animation and then stay in the battle. And I think we just coded that. These might actually win because I have 2 healers. All right, well, let's speed this up either way. Yeah, they're going to win. I didn't even put skill points in. I wonder if there's any party that would lose to this fight. Skeletons are doing a little bit more damage, but they still won. All right, let's go to this place. They're going to lose here. It's going to be too fast now. They're not playing the death animation. Has animation, death animation name. I don't think that happened. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to change a bunch of stuff to make this easier to test. So all instance data. What we're going to do is we're going to hack the forest to accept up to 6 adventurers. And then we're going to make it so the bats do a lot of damage. Forest bat currently does 10 damage. It's going to do 1,000 damage. And then we need to grant ourselves everything. So we have all the adventurers. In fact, it could just be unlock all adventurers. And that's that, right? Yeah, that's that. Now we need to put a breakpoint on this. And then we just start up the game. Easier to get going with if you're a beginner. You don't need anything external to Godot. Yeah. And that's how I recommend getting started for people. I think for equipment, you might be looking for specs. This thing. Hey, Toph. I've been checking in on you every couple weeks for years now. Just want to say thanks for being my background noise for studying. Wait, is this your... No, this isn't your first chat message. But the last time you typed in here was April of 2020. Wow. Yeah. Well, nice to see you. Happy holidays and everything. Happy to be your background noise. All right, so here's what we do. We now throw in all of the adventurers, and one is going to die after like 2.5 seconds. There it is. And this should be true. Yeah, so we change the animation and then we just don't do anything. They're not playing the animation though. I'm confused. Did I change something here? As animation, set the animation. We don't ever call a start or anything. Does hmm. I'm confused. The death animation name should be auto playable, right? Set speed, set loop. Sprite.play. I think that's what I wanted. I don't know why that's how something's amiss here. Well, I was gonna say top, and I was like, oh, there's an H after. It's probably Toph, like what's his name? Topher. God, I want to say Grace, but I don't actually. It is Grace. Well, well, well. Turns out I can remember one name. All right, I don't know how this ever worked. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stash this change. No, wait, no, no, no. What? Can we kill a bat? We can, but only because we have invincibility mode. So let's turn on invincibility, and then wait for everyone to go into the portal. There, and now the bat should eventually die, and it should play its animation. Oh no, I have a breakpoint still. I don't think it did. How am I liking Godot? I think it's good. There's some rough edges. The nice thing is that it's open source, so if I really needed to, I could fix those myself. But yeah, there are some bugs we're gonna have to fix for sure. What made you try on Mac? If I recall correctly, you were using Windows for Botland. Yeah, it's a pretty basic set of reasons. I've got it here. Some development cases are a little bit harder on Windows. Also, some are harder on other platforms too, but it just seemed like I ran into more that were difficult on Windows. And then being able to write a Mac OS or iOS app, it's not legally possible. It's technically possible with a Hackintosh, but Apple doesn't want you doing that. And then, yeah, the lower power, less noise. I never hear this computer. If the fan is on, it's practically silent. And it's nice to not have that white noise for 8 hours a day. The other reason being that if you have a computer that's making any amount of sound and you're in any other environment, you could just put headphones on or something, right? Like, I guess technically I could too. I have headphones on with nothing playing because I don't listen to music while I stream. So I think this is broken, and I don't know when it broke. And I'd like to do a little bit of code archaeology, but I've got maybe 15 minutes left that I can stream for. So let's take a look over here and see if anything pops out at us. Battler.cs. I think this should have played the animation, but I could have sworn I saw it working. So I think I just broke this now. Yeah, weird. It's all the same here. Unless something else is happening. On died, no, it isn't. Huh. Don't forget to file bugs on GitHub if you find bugs. I'm a Godot engine developer. I can't express enough how much oh yeah, yeah. I spend a lot of time on that. And I even have, let me see if I can find this. I'll just search for Sprite or something. It doesn't matter. But if I click author me, the last ones that I filed, which do not have Sprite in the name, that was just to get to this link. I spent a lot of time trying to like write all the details I have. I always try to include a repro. And I very much value the work that you're all doing over there. I think sometimes it feels like I'm kind of sending things into the void. I think my biggest problems right now are that when I hit quit game, a lot of times it just crashes. That time it didn't. And I think that was due to keeping handles to a like a style box or something, because C# had some special code for that. And I tried a newer version and it wasn't working. I think that's one of my biggest issues. And the other big issue that I have is around sprite bleeding. And there was something we were going to do about this. I know that a newer version of the engine also potentially fixed that. Search for bleed, because I wrote something down here about this. Seems like Godot 4.4 combined with this will fix the bleeding. Oh, I see. But it causes a crash. Okay, never mind. That problem's gonna be fixed then. which is great. Office gets cold. I underestimated how much my PC was heating the room. Oh man, I in the last place we lived, we didn't have air conditioning, and it would just get so hot, like unbearably hot in the room. Now we have air conditioning. Now it's nice. I don't think I'd care about the temperature that my computer is at. Okay, so I broke this, and what we need to do is stash this and figure out how I broke it. So let's do a git stash. And then relaunch this. TMM, what got you into being a Godot engine developer? Because it's all, I'm assuming you're not one of the paid developers, or are you? Because I think there were very, very few paid developers and lots of contributors. So it's just statistically is why I'm saying that, not because you can't be paid. All right, so the rogue is guaranteed to win this fight, and it should play out the death animation of the bat. It didn't. Huh. Wait a second, what? How long has this been broken for then? And what did I see earlier? I could have sworn I saw... Oh, I probably broke which frames are being played with this. I never tested this. Oh, whoops. Well, that's my bad. On the Godot Foundation board. Oh, cool. Yeah. Got into it 8 and 9 years ago. Learned computers because I want to make games. Finally decided to use an engine instead of building an engine. And that engine was Godot? Because, as I mentioned earlier, there are some bugs I've encountered. And if I really needed to, I could learn enough about the Godot sort of back end of all of this and fix them myself. But I do think that would be tedious, and I do think that would be a last resort thing for a game of this size. Like if you're making World of Warcraft and if we're using Godot, which it's not, then you would have a team devoted to fixing those issues yourself. But yeah, I think it'd be hard for this. Since then, I now started a Godot engine consulting company, and I still have made no games. It's funny how that works. I think everyone's got an interesting journey in game dev. Are you going to do manual testing or automated testing when the time comes? The way I've said this is I don't think anything is worth automating unless you know there's going to be an audience for it. So let's say I release this game and it just kind of fizzles. Then it wouldn't have really helped to put time into automated testing. So it's going to be a lot of manual testing until then. Also, I don't think there are a ton of game bugs, or at least not like game-breaking bugs. There is one problem that we've been having, which has been that the game has been crashing for people. And I feel bad saying this, but I suspect it's a Godot problem. Because every once in a while, I'll just open this up and I'll like click, well, I don't have the UI anymore for it, but I'll like click these things and it'll just crash. And it doesn't have anything in my code's not in the call stack, and I don't have enough stuff set up for Godot to figure out what's going wrong. All right, so I suspect then this is the problem, that we are actually playing the animation correctly. So what we'll do is we'll stash pop this, and we'll get back to here and figure out what this should be based on the code we had. And I have very little time to figure this out. So let's see what it used to be here. It was 0 frame width, frame height, and then frame height. So that should be +1 times the frame height no matter what, right? Yeah, that looks correct to me. And then the code from, I don't even have it anymore. Quickie Joe. That might be enough for us to figure it out. You might have to build from source so we can get usable debug symbols. We're working on downloadable symbols though. Yeah, I have it somewhere. Let me see. Where's this? Yeah, stuff like this I had. Yeah, and I see some Mac OS specific things in here, although we also had crashes on Windows, but I don't have the Windows crashes, I think. Oh no, I do have a Windows crash right here. Oh, this included like everything. Anyway, I want to look into this at some point. I do need to try to finish this up right now really fast. Let's see, frame height here. Frame height times 2 times the index. Frame height times 2 times the index. Plus the frame height. So frame height times 1. So yeah, okay. I got it in my head. Now, where is this thing that we're doing? That's correct. Playing the idle animations correctly. It's just not playing the death animation correctly. Oh, this is definitely wrong. Okay. Yeah, this should have been frame height times this plus 1. Would that have fixed both of these? It might have. Yeah. I think we just fixed them both. No. Normally TMM, I'd be totally fine. I'd be conversing on this stuff still. It's just that I have a hard stop somewhat soon. I'm streaming because I want to interact with people and I want to talk to people. And yeah, sometimes I have to stop because it's been like, 20 minutes of talking about something. But in this case, it's just that I have a hard stop and I got to be careful. So, okay, we go back into here. We send all of the adventurers into battle and it should hopefully work correctly this time. Let's see. That did not work. Also, we need the bat to have like 1 billion life. All enemy data. Something's wrong. Oh, man. The archer sort of stopped its death animation halfway through. I guess they all have to end up on the ground. Assets, characters. Where are you? There it is. They do all end up on the ground. Yeah, they do. So why did that look weird then? Oh, they're playing in reverse now? Oh no. Oh, really? No. I know why they're playing in reverse. It's because we need to change every single spreadsheet we have. These go in like chronologically from left to right, but the enemies go from right to left. Am I modifying controls from inside control callbacks? I'm not sure, by the way. And I had missed that message. I wasn't trying to ignore or not follow up. I would need to, I need to regain some context on that. Okay, so do we have an easy way of reversing this then? I'm going to need to change every single spreadsheet. Frames per animation. I don't see where this was done. Unless we did it in the opposite order for enemies. X is width minus frame width times I plus 1. I see. Yeah, so we got to do this. Okay, here's a quick fix for this. This is really, really silly, but I'm going to just do this. This is if it's an enemy, so if ECSI has component. Oh, wait, we'll know this from up here. Yeah, this is not null. So if it's not null, then it's an adventure and it goes this way. If it is null, then it is an enemy and it goes this way. Was that lowercase? Yeah. All right, I think that should fix it. For later, perhaps, if you change the content of a control from inside that same control callback, so say click an item in a list and then remove the item, it can cause crashes. You have a PR open for this. Well. All right, I'm going to write this down. That is possibly what's happening. By the way, do you mind linking me to the PR? Because I'd like to follow that. And I think we're like just going to get under the wire here. All right, are they playing their animations correctly? Yeah. Now the life bar still shows up. I think we probably want to fade that out. But yeah, this is looking good. So now you can tell who has died in the battle. And when the battle is over, they should stay around, but I think no, they don't stay around. The bat stays around. Okay. Fix all the engine bugs. Just prioritize all of the Skeleseller work. I really appreciate it. Both the fixing and the linking. There we go. All right, now let's just review the code really fast. And yep, looks good to me. All right, let's merge. Click the merge button. Why isn't it working? Get this right now. Wow, I can't wait to try this. Unfortunately, it only happens some of the time. I'm guessing there's a race condition in here. So it'd be hard to conclude that it fixed every problem that we had. But yeah, I definitely want to look into this at some point. Okay, so this tested with the player animations. We need to test with the enemy animation now. So we go to the next area, and now the enemies will be killable. I gave the bat like 10,000 life, so it's going to kill us every single time. But this time we should win, and we should see the enemies animate when they die. Nice. The fireball looks a little strange when it's shooting upward. Can I get a picture of that? Yeah. It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, play out the death animation, stay on the battle. At the end of the battle, stop removing adventurers. Yeah, so I haven't done this yet. Where I left off is just this part. Either way, clean up the commented code and on death handle. That part is done, right? Yes, that part is done. Whew, nice. All right, yeah. Today has been a pretty good day. I did not stream for the normal amount of time because, like I said, I forgot about a deadline I had today. Well, we got sort of close. It's like 5 hours and 20 minutes. That's why I didn't take a break this stream. Next stream, I'm planning on having it be on Christmas Day. That one might get canceled. But then I should be streaming on Friday. But yeah, no stream tomorrow. Probably no stream on Thursday. I know that a couple weeks ago I was like, I'm gonna stream every day of the week. That was just while I felt like I could do that, and I think that took its toll. I still don't know how I used to stream for 30 plus hours per week of development. That's too much. It's just too much. Just need a break from that stuff. All right, I had to get going. Let me find someone to raid. Oh, also let me write down the look into raids, because I know I just kind of glossed over that earlier. All right. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Happy holidays. I appreciate you all being here. I'm going to try to find someone to raid. How do I do this? Okay, there we go. All right, who have I not raided? Okay, let's raid this person. I have not seen them before, but I like to try to raid new people. And as long as they speak English and they have been online for like 7 hours, then they're usually a pretty good candidate. All right, like I said, thank you all for watching. Here's some links if you feel like clicking links. If you don't worry about it. And I will hopefully be back on Wednesday. If not, then yeah, I'll be back on Friday almost for sure. Take care. See you later.